Assalamu alaikum. How is everyone? It's a great honor to be here today. I'm a fan of TED Talks and really looking forward to speaking today. So my mother was a working woman. She had a master's in economics from Dhaka University back in the days. She worked for an insurance company. So an ambitious career woman. She took care of us, my family. She took care of her siblings. She was the eldest in her family of 7 siblings. And she took care of my father's family as well, who was also the eldest in his family. So a busy woman. But she did it all flawlessly. One thing I learned from her is that she was very efficient. She could do things, she was very organized. She could do things very fast and in a very efficient way. She could get ready in 10 minutes and look fabulous. For a woman, that's huge. So from an early age, I learned the importance of being efficient and doing things, making things simple. That has become a lifelong nag for me. Even now, I'm always looking for how to increase efficiency, how to do things in a more simpler way. She got me hooked to this magazine called Real Simple. It's a very popular American magazine. For 20 years, I've been reading this magazine. It's all about how to simplify your life, starting from the big stuff like finances to the very small way of how to crack an egg efficiently and take the yolk out. I love it. So that's at the core of who I am. I like to simplify things. So back in 2013, when I wanted to come back to Bangladesh and start something on my own, I was thinking, what do I want to do? And then I realized that simplifying things is such a core essence of who I am. That's what I would like to do for the people of Bangladesh, simplify their life. And I believe big time in technology. So I wanted to simplify the life of Bangladeshis by using technology. Okay, that's easy. But how? What should I offer? What service do we do? I recalled an experience I had back in 2007 when I worked for BRACNET. I had started a website called BRACNET.net. It was a classified site. It's just like Craigslist. Back in the US, we used to use Craigslist to sell things. It was normal. I wanted to do that in Bangladesh. This is 2007, when internet penetration wasn't as high as now. People weren't as used to doing things online. One day, in the BRAC office, a middle-aged gentleman came to meet me. I was very surprised. He was supposedly a user of BRACNET. He wanted to come meet me. So I went and met him. And he wanted to thank me because he sold a fridge through our BRACNET.net classified site, and he made around 15,000 taka. With that 15,000 taka, he paid off his daughter's tuition. And he was so grateful that he was able to do it. Today, these classified sites are very popular. This is 2007. So what that incident shook me. Craigslist in the US is very normal. We take it for granted. We used to use it in 2005, 6, all that time. But doing that in Bangladesh had such a big impact. It helped people make money. It was a turning point for me. It was decided I wanted to come back to Bangladesh because here I could make a lot more impact with the same effort I could put in anywhere else. What it also taught me is that technology adaptation will happen much faster if people were able to make money by using that technology. Fast forward 13 years. The world has been taken up by a storm by on-demand services. Ride-sharing is the most popular one amongst them, food delivery. There are all kinds of services. With the click, you can get a carpenter come home. With a click, you can get a plumber come home, beautician come home. All kinds of on-demand services have happened. Shahaj got into ride-sharing, food delivery. So my dream of simplifying life plus creating employment for people by using technology finally merged together as Sahoj launched these on-demand services. In Bangladesh, in the last 2-3 years, we have seen a plethora of on-demand services come into place. I'm sure all of us have used them in one way or the other. Ride sharing is the most common one, which is employing a lot of people. There is food delivery. There is, like I mentioned, plumbing, carpenter, any kind of things you want to fix in the house, you can call somebody, and with one click, they'll come and solve your problem. These on-demand services we have. Nowadays, there are services where doctors can come visit you, plus you can do video calls. That could save you a lot of time. So, on-demand services are making life easy. One click, and somebody comes and solves your problem. But there is an even bigger story and bigger impact of on-demand services. It's the people behind these services who are offering this convenience to you. It's the home cook who is cooking food for you and sending it to you in one click. It's the ride-sharing driver who is driving you around. It's the food delivery man who's delivering food to your doorstep. It's the call center agent who is solving your problems on the phone. And that's a very big story of empowerment, which is what I want to talk about today. Who are these people? These are students, can be high school students as young as that, university students. They are temporary workers who are in between jobs, and they are any of us sitting here, people who have 9 to 6 jobs, and after 6 o'clock, we do some delivery or whatever on-demand services. Let's hear the story of these 3 people on the screen. The first one is a 22-year-old gentleman called Kareem. He is a computer science student. He aspires to become a coder someday. He lives in the village. His father is a small trader. All his dreams are shattered one day when his father is diagnosed with a terminal illness. Now, in our country, in this kind of situation, what would happen is this gentleman will quit his education and try to get a job to support his family. But thanks to these on-demand services, this gig economy that we have, that this guy is able to do food delivery, earn something around 15-20K per month, and support his education. Many of our delivery men work in shifts in between classes. So that's huge. Imagine making 15-20K of additional income in a month while you're doing your studies. Take the story of this other gentleman, Hannan. He used to be a driver. Now, we all have drivers in our country. Their life is really boring, They're at the mercy of their employers. They're waiting in the car while the boss is somewhere. Waiting, they have to be on call all the time. The meeting could be 2 hours, 3 hours. They don't know. It's a very boring job. He used to get 20K monthly salary. He realized by doing ride sharing, he could earn anywhere from 35 to 40K per month. He quit his job and he started his own ride sharing business. He is his own boss now. That's liberty. That's freedom. Now, the third story is a very interesting one. It's of a lady. She comes from a good family, as in an affluent family, I meant. She is educated. She was facing some personal problems in between. She needed money and money on her own. She did food delivery with us for a few weeks, and she made a good amount of money to help her get through. So these are stories of flexibility, where people can earn money when they want to earn money and pursue their other dreams. If you look at the earnings potentials, in Bangladesh, an average fresh graduate makes around 10, 11,000 taka or 15,000 taka. But look at this. By just doing even part-time work, you're making more than that. You're making around 15, 20K. Full-time, you could make around 35, 40K. And that's big. That's a lot of money that these gig workers can make. So how big is this economy in Bangladesh now? In the global freelancing websites, we have around 0.9 million Bangladeshis working. In the local startup ecosystem of the on-demand services and the financial services, there is around 1 million workers. So that's altogether 2 million people working in this sector. Garments industry has been around in Bangladesh for 40 years, the largest employer in Bangladesh in private sector with 5 million workers. And gig economy in just a short span of 4 to 5 years have created 2 million jobs. That's big. Here is an interesting data for the World Economic Forum. It shows globally how many people are doing it, and Bangladesh is number 2, which is quite encouraging. I'll move quickly. How big can it be? Look at Indonesia. 30% of workforce does gig work. If you translate that to Bangladesh, that's 20 million workers. 20 million jobs can be created in this gig world. Women's participation can also be increased big time because women like the flexibility. And just a 10% increase in participation could increase 1% GDP. That's big. What I want to talk about quickly, and I have time, is the bigger impact, which I think is the bigger impact, is the societal impact of gig economy. It teaches you to respect work. Did we imagine 10 years back that an IT manager of a farm will be delivering food? We could not imagine that. Today, we do that with pride, and that's a big change. Respecting people for the work they do, not for the title, not for where they come from. Second is technology adaptation. From the hill tracks, we have food delivery men who are using apps. Can you imagine? They're using it, they're learning it well because it helps them make money. And the significance of that is when they're learning to use the app, they're also getting on social media. They're getting on Google. They cannot be cheated anymore. You know, the educated class has access to these things, but we are talking about gig economy, which is going to the masses and alleviating the masses by teaching them technology and these things. So we know the story of a maid in a foreign country who was being beaten up, and the husband did a video, put it on YouTube, and the embassy rescued that woman. That's emancipation, that's freedom. That is what gig can do for the masses by teaching them technology and teaching them other skills. The other interesting factor is the median age in Bangladesh of gig workers is 25, which is much less than the other countries. Why is that important? Because this gig work, the young people can be transformed. Young people can be taught things, and they adapt new things, they're receptive. So gig jobs are transforming these people. I talked about the respect for work. I talked about technology adaptation. The other most important thing is these are all micro-entrepreneurs. We are creating entrepreneurs. They have autonomy, they have control, they have freedom, they are independent. So imagine 20 million mass-level people who are becoming technology savvy. They're tolerant. Respect for work means tolerant, which creates a much more progressive-minded society, and they are independent, they have control over their life. So that's a huge impact. That's a whole new revolution, I think, happening in Bangladesh and rest of the world, where this new cohort of people are coming who are very empowered, who have control, who have charge of their life, who have a voice, and who are tolerant and progressive. That, I believe, could take Bangladesh much more beyond its middle-income dream to something even bigger. Technology moves fast, and I believe we will all see that happen in our lifetime only. Thank you.